Hello, alcoholic audio engineer coming to you once again from beautiful scenic Paju City, South Korea. And continuing my series of short tutorials on getting started in Cakewalk, getting familiar with the UI, the user interface. You should be, if you've been going along in sequence, you should be familiar now with channel strips and what they represent, basically what they are. You should know how to mute and solo tracks. You should know what the volume slider does. It controls the volume. And what the pan knob does. And how whatever channel strip you have selected over here is now reflected over here in this vertical strip. All right, and in this video, we're going to talk about this one right here, which is called the master channel. And we're going to talk about console view. All right, I think that's enough for this one. So I want you to look up at these menus up here. Of course, you've got your file menu. That should be familiar enough to you. It's pretty much like any file menu in Microsoft Word or any number of other programs. Edit, also very similar. You've got your cut and copy and paste and all that stuff. You might use it in somewhat different ways here than in other programs, but basically the same menu. But I want to bring your attention over here to the views menu. Right now we are in basically what we're in is called track view. And once again, make sure that over here on the upper right hand side corner, you are in the basic mode. All right. You don't want to be in advanced or arranger or any of these. You want to be in basic. All right. When you begin, make sure you're in basic. And make sure that this doohickey over here is collapsed or minimized off to the right. We don't need to be looking at that yet. We will be looking at it shortly. So, but what we have here, channel strips, the recorded audio tracks associated with each one, and these two vertical strips right here. This is basically what is called in the views menu the track view. All right, track view. So if I click track view, it's going to go to the default track view, which is, let me see here, views, track view. Okay, well, it's already basically set. Again, double arrows between lines between things. You know, this is where I can take a channel strip and widen it, expand it, get a better look at the waveforms. Expand it, I can see the mute button, the solo button, the other buttons, the other things in it that we'll get to later. And vertical lines in between, I can also do this, right? And let's say that I want to get to the mute and solo buttons without expanding it this way. I can expand it this way, and I have access to the same buttons, same features. All right. Those features are always present in the channel strips, just whether you can see them or not, and you know how you want them to be visible. So now let's get on to, so now you know where the views menu is. You know that it has different views in it. There are different views to be had in this user interface. So we're going to talk about this one right here. This is called the master channel. And then we're going to talk about console view. All right, so as you already know, each of these individual channel strips is an individual part in the project, in the mix, in the song, that can be soloed and muted. But when you listen to them all together at the same time, all of them together at the same time, when you listen to the whole mix all together at the same time, you're listening to them through the master channel. Think of it this way. Think of the master channel as a funnel. As a funnel. I should look into the camera, not into the microphone. Think of a funnel, all right? And think of the master channel as as the chute at the bottom of the funnel, right? So all of your individual channels and individual tracks are going into the funnel, and out the bottom, in one stream, in one audio signal, one combined audio signal, comes your entire mix all together at once. That part at the bottom of the funnel, where it all comes out together at once, that's your master channel. And that's what this is right here. So to make this very easy and very clear to understand, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the entire mix at once from the very beginning. Again, this song is called Passing Through. It's the first thing uploaded to this channel, and it is the subject of my first installment or edition of a series of deep dives into mixes, and that series is called Into the Mix. All right, so I'm going to hit play. Here is the play button up here. That's rewind, that's fast forward, that's pause, just like on a tape deck, right? I'm going to hit play, and we're going to hear the entire, because there's nothing soloed or muted as far as I know. And I'm going to hit play, and you're going to hear all of it together all at once, and you're going to be hearing it through the master channel. And how are you going to know that you're hearing all of it through the master channel? Here's how. I'm going to hit play. And this is a song that fades in. What you're hearing, that warbling sound, that's tracks 3 and 4. That's the intro swell. And then you're going to hear, very soon, the guitar and the vocals kick in. There. That part and that part is kicked in. Now listen. I'm going to go to the master channel, and I'm going to move the volume slider down all the way down to infinity, and you hear nothing. These two red dots are a no-no. I'll get to that later. It shouldn't be happening. I've neglected to enable something or adjust something, but anyway, it's still playing. Do you see that line moving across? It's still playing. You just can't hear it, because all of the tracks together have had their volumes reduced to infinitely quiet by the volume slider in the master channel. I change that. It happens to all of them at once. Now I'm going to go to the pan knob. Now the whole entire mix is on the left. Now the whole entire mix is on the right. All right. By the way, in Cakewalk, when you want to return something to 0, you double click it. Double click, it's back at 0, which is dead center in the middle. I want this volume slider back at 0. I double click it. It's back at 0. All the way back down. I double click it. Click, bang, it's back at 0. Space bar. I just hit the space bar. Space bar is start and stop. That right there is the play pause. That's the space bar. All right. So that is the master channel. Everything's going through the master channel into the final audio signal, the cumulative audio signal. So let's go back to our views menu. I'm going to click console view. All right. And then I'm going to explain what you're looking at. Console view. All right. Let's look down here at the bottom. You see the same channel strips that you saw horizontally before, but they're all vertical now. That's track 1, loop, drum loop. Track 2, RNFI 24, that's the main guitar part. Intro swells, 3 and 4, 5, 6 are still numbered. They They've got the same respective names. All right. But now, you no longer see you no longer see the audio waveforms. Okay. The reason why you want to look at things in track view, it's called track view because when you're tracking, that is recording audio, in the initial stages of tracking and mixing, you want to be able to see what you're doing. You want to see where everything is in time and space. All right. And there are other editing functions that you can only perform in this view, looking at the actual waveforms of the actual tracks. Okay. But there are times when you're going to want to go later on in the process where you're going to want to go to console view. When you're just adjusting levels and pan, and so basically what console view is this. Here in track view, again, I click, I select track 1, right? And I've got, from console view, I've got that strip from console view only for track 1 right here. And if I want to look at, so I've got those controls, I got pan, I got volume for track 1 right here, but only for track 1. All right. If I want to focus on track 8, I click on track 8. I'll call it octave, and now over here it's octave, and I've got access to these controls. But sometimes you want this vertical strip right here, all in one place for all of them, all together at once. And when that's the case, you go into console view. All right. And all of those tracks, those channel strips that were visible to you all at once, horizontally, the waveforms are gone. Okay. But you've got all of those levels and pans and mutes and solos, all of that at your fingertips, right in front of you, in one place. Okay. And that's console view. Just know that that's what you're looking at. And then as you get further along into this, you're going to understand why sometimes you want to be looking at this and not at, you want to be looking at console view and not at track view. And when you want to be looking at track view and not at console view. All right, so that's enough for this installment of getting started with Cakewalk. And I hope this helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Over and out.